All right. Hey, everybody. It says I'm live. Hi, hello, and welcome in to Real Kirk. My name is Patrick. And I just got a new mic. It is so sensitive. I can hear myself breathe, and I don't like it. I can hear conversations happening in rooms in the microphone better than I can with my ears. So, in the sake of content, I have the Energy Oracle cards. Also, for the sake of pulling an Energy Oracle card, because I like it. Man holding a coin again. With Raphael at the cut. Open hearts, open pocketbooks. Yeah. So I'm basically on here. I just got this. I'm doing a podcast with one of my bestest friends. Information TBD, I guess. And that's why I got the mic, because she has a mic and the difference in audio was noticeable enough to her. So I was like, this one I got on Amazon. It's relatively inexpensive. So that's why I got it. And I just want like 2 or 3 of these. Also, I was supposed to be leaving tomorrow morning, but I'm leaving tonight. So got to get ready for that. I'm glad I started to get ready at least a little bit, a tiny bit, because there's less that I need to do now. Okay. Who this? The woman holding a coin. First, it was the man holding a coin. Now it's a woman holding a coin. The garden and the gate is at the bottom of the deck. Turn on lamp, please.
One sec.
Maybe. And I need a shower.
Still working. Okay.
There we go.
The lamp is on.
Why'd that take so long? Turn lamp to purple, please. So the woman holding a coin is here.
Voila. Purple.
There we go. Y'all can't really tell, but that's fine. And the man, first I kept seeing the man holding a heart. And then I started seeing the woman holding a heart first. And then when the woman started holding the heart, the man started holding the coin. And now the woman is holding the coin. Is this a black cat? Is there a black cat on this card? I've never noticed this. Hold it. I might delete this. I'll keep it up. I've never noticed a black cat in this card. There's a whole bunch of stuff I've never noticed about this card, because I thought I just got my eyes operated on. So, okay. But I thought she was holding a red coin purse this whole time. But that's like okay, well, the purple ain't helping. 1 second. But there's a black cat here with the purple color. She's wearing a purple dress. Well, it's like a black dress with look like some lace, but some purples in it. There's a purple rose, looks like, in her hair. I just turned it to the purple light because the vibe today is purple. 1 second. I'm going to switch this to something a little more neutral. There we go. Even though, yeah, you can see it a little better now. Okay. And I'll turn this one off. Y'all can hear the creaking and everything. That's my mother. So purple is featured. The red and yellow is the seed. I did just see Archangels Ariel and Camuel, solar plexus and sacral at the cut. Broken heart is here. So focused on the coin, because maybe love didn't work out in the past. If you're focusing on one thing to avoid another, it probably isn't going to give you the result that you desire, because it's an energy of avoidance. And storm warning and walking away. What is this? What is this energy? Well, I guess not everything is going to be like super positive, right? And I feel like these levels are going up and down. I don't know if it's automatically trying to compensate or equalize or whatever. Rest and rejuvenation. Bottom of the deck is the Angel of Love. So maybe there was a time of focusing on finances, focusing on things outside of love, but it's like diverting your focus or shifting your focus didn't help heal that any really. And so it created a rift. And it feels like whenever you stopped or slowed down before, you would feel the pain of loss or the lack of a presence that used to be there. Now, it could be someone who left like this plane of existence, someone who passed, or just feelings of being an outsider or left behind in general. But now, oh, here's the sign. So the sun is here with community and the angel of love. It's like when you stopped running, then things started to happen that allowed that healing to come in. And it's going to allow to even more happiness. And I feel like it's also going to help with finances in some way. Maybe, oh, look, there's the man holding a coin. What is going on? He holding the coin, she holding the coin, they holding coins. The black cat is here. I don't see the black cat as misfortune, but it can be something that kind of gets a bad rep, I guess. The door to romance. What is happening? And community again. Also, it might be, I guess there too is an energy of like, if you're fairly well off, or even if you aren't, if you lose someone to a certain thing, then it's an energy of having like a charity or a scholarship fund, something that like philanthropic that puts purpose behind dollars. So like the woman was stacking coins, something broke her heart. And there was a moment of restlessness, of grief, understandably. And then in rest and rejuvenation, the angel of love comes in. It's like, well, I can use this heartbreak to do some good in the world. And then maybe, oh, this is so weird. It's like a movie, but it's like maybe in that you find someone, maybe a charitable donor, maybe because a lot of times the first people who sort of get on board are going to be people who were similarly affected. And it could be through this space of charity that you meet someone or you approach someone as a backer to like donate or something. And then a romance blooms, or just a really good like business partnership, or someone who can like see your vision. That's a storyline for somebody in the world, I'm sure. So it could be either way. It seems like, though, a healed heart or a healing heart or an open heart, a heart that is open to healing. In business, they're correlated. So if you've done like some healing in your life, I'm going to take these off because listening to myself is a little distracting. That's better. But it's a little bit of an energy. Where was I going? I lost it. Like a healing heart leaves you open to opportunity. It makes you, community came out. So it's like, it basically makes you someone that people want to work with, or it makes you an energy that people want to be around. And it benefits you, or it comes into your work in some way. I don't know. Because it's like, people don't want to hang out with stink acting people. People don't want to work with people who don't work well with others. Okay. I am not. Okay, this ain't necessarily meant to be that long. So give me something else. I'll pull 3 cards. We'll go with this one. Rest and Rejuvenation, Magician in the Mirror, and Gabriel. Right? Bottom of the deck is Michael, first chakra. It's the root. We get, 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, the Magician in the Mirror, and Rest and Rejuvenation, 1953 and 39. So, there's a crown energy here in Rest and Rejuvenation. So there's a crown-ish energy. And then in the Magician in the Mirror, you see that like right above his crown. It's like the light bulb went off. The throat and the root. Honestly, it feels like an energy of your manifestations coming in. But it requires you to voice something, or it requires you to be present. Using your voice isn't necessarily always speaking. It's also about like taking a stand, taking a stance. It's your truth, externalizing your truth in some way. And that could be like through any medium of expression. How you dress, how you accessorize, your hair, even like your profession in some ways is an extension of you, if for no other reason than like what you're willing to do to make a living. And it isn't to shame like a sex worker or anything like that. It's along the lines of like, if you're in the business of taking advantage of vulnerable people, or if you're in the business of disenfranchising certain people, or if you're in a business of sort of like tearing people down to sustain yourself, then that's what sort of more speaks to your character, right? And to me, and it isn't about me, it's about you or whoever. It's like what you're willing to do to sustain yourself. And there's a difference in that. The Magician in the Mirror, honestly, it feels like it's the fulfillment of a lot of manifestation. It's the fulfillment of a lot of wishes. With Gabriel and Michael coming out, there's probably been some healing done. And just like with the woman and the man holding a coin, I think the man holding a coin kind of sort of generalizes it even more, or it introduces another aspect. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be an opposite gendered aspect. It's just that we have both in that energy of holding a coin. And it kind of goes back to that energy of like that broken heart being healed benefits you in business somehow. Because it's like these manifestations are coming in. You don't necessarily have to worry as much with the Magician in the Mirror and Rest and Rejuvenation, but you are going to have to be present. You're going to have to use your voice. You're going to have to show up authentically. You're going to have to be in your truth to make the most of it with this Gabriel energy, 5th chakra. And it feels like in some ways it's in response to the root, how you've healed the root, but it also feels like it's going to ground some things. It's coming in as a little bit of a 10 of Pentacles energy because it feels like it's the foundation or the basis of a generational wealth. And that's why the root chakra is here. But it's like feels like it's mostly hinged upon or depending on you being in your authenticity, using your voice with Gabriel. Here we go. This one popped up, but it went back in. Oh, it's the sun. Okay. So you might have to go looking for it a little bit, but it feels like it'll make itself known. It feels like it's like a fish in a river. And maybe you're spearfishing, but it's like it jumps out of the water to make itself known. Or it's like if you're in a desert and you're walking and you don't see any water, but all of a sudden your foot is wet. It's like, oh, it's like something happens to alert you to the presence of this thing. I don't know if it necessarily comes, like if it leaps into your lap. I don't know if the fish are necessarily leaping into your boat and, you know, asking you to take them home and fillet them, right? So it may require a little bit of something from you. But again, that makes sense because Gabriel is here with the throat chakra. But it feels like it is going to make itself apparent, or it's going to make itself known in some way. This is interesting. I had a dream one time. I just thought about this dream last night, maybe. I had a dream that I was in like a dinner theater type place, and there were like little kiddie pools. Not necessarily kiddie pools, but instead of tables, everyone was in a pool. And there was a cup that they were bringing around. It was like Holy Grail type of energy. And I remember I went under the water and I saw somebody. And then I came above the water and they weren't there. So I went back under and then I couldn't get up. I was like, oh my gosh. But then I swam over and I grabbed her. And it's like she was what they were looking for. Like I could tell that them walking around with the cup was more than just a performance. I could tell that there was a reason and a purpose behind it, some kind of magical occurrence. And this feminine figure coming out of the water or sitting on the edge of the water reminds me of that. It's something that I could only see when I was submersed, something that I could only access when I was submersed. And it's an energy of like, is that like dredging something up? I forget the word. It's like delving in water when you like delve for sunken treasure. So it brings in like a scorpionic energy. The nodes are about to shift into Taurus and Scorpio in like January. But that scorpionic energy also reminds me of the Seven of Pentacles that I was seeing in the Tarot Apocalypsis. And it's like there's an eighth pentacle in the water. It's submerged though. And it takes me back to that root energy with Michael. Like there's something deeply seated that either prevents or blocks whatever blessing or abundance from coming in. But once you resolve that, and once you release some things with this rest and rejuvenation, it's like, it feels like it mostly finds its way to you. It just requires you to honor it, basically. There's some kind of authenticity needed. And with this sun, it's also like in this pool of water being, it brings a reflectivity to it. It's like as light as you are, as honest or luminous as you are, it will match. And so if you want it to be all that you want it to be, you need to be and to be all that you need to be. It doesn't feel like you got to work too hard. Sometimes though, release can be a little difficult. Sometimes it can be difficult to not put in an obscene almost amount of effort because that's what you're used to putting in. The door to personal healing and happiness came out. So it's not that nothing is required and it's not that it's going to be extremely easy, but it feels like something that gets easier the more you do it because it requires less. It requires more of something that takes less effort to give. But there is going to be an adjustment period. Bottom of the deck is the man holding a heart. That's what it requires. That broken heart that we saw earlier. Just because I don't even know. I watched a movie last night with one of my dear friends. And Sabrina was going on and on about like heartbreak or something. It was so hard for me to like listen though, because it's like what was coming out of her mouth and her actions for me, it was just like, it wasn't overwhelming, but it was like, it was difficult to hear the words. It was difficult to hear the intention because of the action that was being committed. And it's like, it's an energy of misalignment. And maybe that's why the magician in the mirror is here in between rest and rejuvenation and Gabriel. So now it's carrying the energy of something that we've been manifesting, but it's something that we actively speak against or we actively work against in some way. And rest and rejuvenation is asking us to quit working against ourselves, basically, to lighten up, be more authentically us, and to allow it to come in. But it is also related to some healing, some personal healing. And now the Angel of Strength is at the bottom of the deck. It takes strength to be vulnerable, and it takes strength to be you authentically in a world that seemingly tries so hard to get you to try to be someone else, or to get you to want to be someone else, or to want something else. But it is a little comforting, I guess, knowing that all that's required of you is you. And it's like you can't really fail at being you, especially after you get some practice. So, final card. I got 5 on the table on the laptop. Then, okay, that's more than one, but that's fine. Bottom of the deck is the door to value. So, again, something with this personal healing and happiness, something with mending the heart is directly connected to value or monetary gain in a sense, but it's more the frequency of abundance. And abundance is a frequency. And so if there is a disturbance within, it makes it more difficult for us to align with that. And so we may experience, it's starting to do that whistling thing again. I don't like it. It's hard to be in alignment with it when there's struggle within self. And so it's like it can manifest difficulties or disturbances or delays. And again, that goes back to the magician in the mirror sitting in between rest and rejuvenation and Archangel Gabriel with the 5th chakra. The three cards that came out, number 4, number 18, and number 15, happy family, anxiety, and appreciation. There's almost an energy here. It's an anxiety around things that we don't need to be anxious about. And it's like, she's gorgeous. She has shelter. If you look at the curtains and the windows, it looks like she's fairly well off. And there's an energy. I mean, it's just the image of the card. Anxiety goes beyond our physical situation. But with happy family and appreciation, 15 and 4, it's a 19, and 19 is the Sun card in tarot. There's also an energy of the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hierophant. The Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune, that's us deciding that we're going to be appreciative. It's us deciding that we're going to be grateful. It's us deciding that no matter what happens, we're going to do our best to continue moving forward. And that it eliminates anxiety. And then it more steadily brings to us that which we wish to attract. And it's going back to that creator and weaver energy from earlier almost, and how we can create things or how we can delay things intentionally or not, aware of it or not. And in eliminating anxiety, it stabilizes us in receiving more of what we want and receiving less of what we don't want. There is also an energy here between happy family and appreciation. It's a little bit of an energy of like chosen family. Or it's like there's also an energy here of like, even if things aren't perfect, it is an energy of appreciating the little things, but they're really big. Like appreciating that if your family has made it through, I mean, times are always difficult. People are always leaving, but you can appreciate that they're here. There's also an energy going back to that 10 of Pentacles. It's like an ancestral energy in this, where it's like your ancestors or the family that you don't even have yet, the family that you will have, that's sort of energetically already here. They have an appreciation for you and what you're doing now, because what you're doing now establishes the foundation for when they come into this world. It's an appreciation that transcends time space. This could be you for yourself. This could be future you appreciating what you're doing right now. This could be past you appreciating how you're navigating right now, or the things that you dare to dream of, the ways in which you dare to move that you never would have before. And so then this happy family almost carries on this energy of not only ancestors, but multiple versions of you. Again, it's an appreciation that transcends time space. I want like just one. Oh, Healer of the Ages. There we go. That makes sense. Bottom of the deck is the Door to Spirit in reverse. It's the only card in reverse, right? Let me check. I probably just put it back in reverse last time I used it because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's the only card in reverse. I feel like in the Door to Value is at the top of the deck. I feel like the Door to Spirit in reverse, honestly, though, it feels like Spirit has already descended upon the situation. It feels like Spirit is already working. And so there isn't, like, you could ask more from Spirit, but it feels like there's not much more for Spirit to do. Because again, it's like with Rest and Rejuvenation and the Magician in the Mirror, it feels like everything that you've needed to do to cue this manifestation in, you've already done. Now you just have to show up for it. Now you just have to live in the light of it. And it isn't even necessarily for you to be completely healed, because it feels like something that you'll continue to do. Things will continue to get lighter. Like Spirit is already here in the midst of this. And I feel like it also approves. And I mean, you know, with the Healer of the Ages, like, it's already out the door. That's why the Door to Spirit is in reverse. It's already come out of the gate. Like, you know, and behind that again is community. So that's what I got. Ultimately, I just kind of sort of wanted to come on to test a mic, which doesn't really do much here. But I guess I can listen to this and then listen to the video earlier. I was listening to a little bit of it earlier because I forgot to timestamp the second part. And I was like, oh, the audio is not that great. But I will pull a final card. There is Archangel Raphael at the cut with Archangel Gabriel, the heart and the throat, at the bottom of the deck. 38 and 39. And so, I mean, but like that energy has been here. It's an energy of healing. And but that's like, so now it's bringing in an energy of like a well of life force. And, or is it like a hydroelectric plant? Because it feels like you receive life force energy, but your ability to work with it is impeded. And so it's like if there's a tributary to your pool of the universal waters, there's a blockage on it that is the outlet that like runs through your life. And so the door to personal healing and happiness, even the throat, the heart, like all of that stuff, as you're working on that with that Healer of the Ages energy, you're removing those blockages and you're allowing that life force energy to flow. And so what it does is it puts you in a position to, it's almost like it puts you in a position to create more of it puts you in a position to create more with less. And again, it kind of sort of goes back to an energy of like working with natural forces. No, there's the garden and the gate with the Archangel Raphael at the heart. Yeah, it's whatever blockages we have with the heart, it produces blockages like all over the place, and it makes sense because the heart is connected to like everything. If you have a heart problem, then it can manifest a problem anywhere in the body because every organ relies on the blood that the heart provides it. So, final message. One last card, please. Okay, these are starting to get a little unruly. What is that? Oh. Next time y'all see me, the location will be different, and I'm excited for that. I'm so excited. I'm going to keep going until one falls out. That's what I'm on today. Okay. Well, you didn't fall out. Attachment and community is here. Community at the bottom of the deck. Attachment flipped over. It didn't fall out though, so I'm not gonna end there. That almost, it takes me back to the happy family and appreciation a little bit, because it's like maybe not. It's like you can have a love for your family, but it is a little bit of an energy of like maybe family members are some of the people who need some of your truth. Because it feels like certain familial bonds can be a little bit of an attachment. Like it can weigh you down a little bit. Or that it could be the source of some emotional pain. And that causes other things. Like my mom was just talking to my dad about how certain hurts and pains that he felt regarding some of his family members growing up still affects him to this day. And it's almost the energy of like a misunderstanding that we've carried for so long that at some point we eventually sort of think of it as truth. And it's these situations in which like no one alive or no one is really to blame. But if things are to be corrected, someone has to take initiative. And with, you know, the cards that came out today, the person who takes initiative probably is you, probably, more than likely. And it's not about whose responsibility it is to do whatever. Because at the end of the day, if you want something, then you shouldn't mind putting in a little bit of initiative or work to get it. Because no one has to do anything. So if you want something done, initiate it. You don't necessarily have to do it all yourself, but at least let it be known. And it's almost an energy. I think that was attachment again. Okay. Patience just came out with yin yang at the bottom of the deck. So yin yang is about knowing when to give, knowing when to receive, and doing so in balance. Patience means it's reading as an energy of like putting in the work. It may not return immediate gains, but it will be more than worth it at the end or in the end. But what was I saying? It's like, if you want something done, at least speak up on it. That's what the fifth chakra was about. Even if someone else could do something. It's like if you can't even speak it, if you can't even put in a fraction of the work to get it, then how is it to be given to you? It's almost like you're in the space of not asking. Door to spirit in reverse. Okay. It's almost like you're in a space of not even asking for the things that you really want. And so you don't receive it. It's like spirit is there. Your ancestors are there. The abundance is there. It's just waiting on you to like make your request known in a way. Then the strategy is right there. Strategy and patience. I feel like the strategy isn't required, honestly. It's like, we'll strategize different ways that we can go about communicating what we want without directly saying what we want. And it's like, or you could just say what you want and get it. Like you can spend time and energy and effort. You can mastermind and brainstorm all kinds of ways to go about, acquiring what it is that you wish to acquire. Or you could literally just be like, hey, like, can I have this? And Spirit would be like, yeah, like, it's like high key been here just waiting for you. We were just waiting on you to acknowledge that you want it. Anyway, all right, that's what I got. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality, because if you're not doing it, then who else is doing it? Or who else is going to do it? Who else is capable of doing it on your behalf? Other people can only do so much for us, And it's like Spirit's already like 95% of the way there. Just put in 5% of the effort. It may be more than it may be more than 5. It may be a lot more than 5. Excuse me, depending on what it is for you to come into, depending on what it is that you're coming out of. But it feels like regardless of how much that percentage is, it's like it's relative. And since, primarily Spirit likes for us to grow, it's going to be a little bit outside, at the very least, a little bit outside of what we're comfortable with. So if you're comfortable putting in 10% of effort, maybe you're going to have to put in 15 or 20. If you're comfortable putting in 50% of the effort or 90% of the effort, maybe you're going to have to put in like 20 or 10 or 5, because rest and rejuvenation was also there. So if you constantly do too much, it may be time to back off a little so someone or something else can come in and assist you, potentially. I don't know. It's your life. It's your journey. However you feel it, continue. I just hope you continue bravely and brazenly and boldly. But if you need a minute to just be good, to make sure you're good, then take it, right? It's your life.